his three calls.
The horse with the zit on its hoof, the horse with the high heel shoes, the horse with the smelly feet, and the horse with the missing hoof. We will also talk about symptoms, diagnosis, and treatments for these calls.
First, Austin, I'm going to show you the parts of the hoof.
Okay, let's start with the exterior parts first.
This is the toad.
That actually is the frog. The frog is the V-shaped structure pointing down from the heel. It aids in traction and circulation as well as helps absorb shock. And the hard part right here is the hoof wall. The hoof wall is the hard exterior covering of the hoof that protects interior functions, supports weight, and also helps absorb shock. Right here is the toe.
The toe is the tip of the hoof. And here are the heels. The heels help support the hoof and aid in traction.
If this really are the heels, then these are the bars. The bars are an extension of the hoof wall that strengthen the heel area. They also help support the horse's weight. And the narrowest area of the hoof wall are the quarters.
Right here is the sole. The sole helps protect the inside of the horse's hoof. And here is the coronary band. The coronary band is where the hoof wall meets the hairline and is the nutritional growth source of the hoof wall.
Hey Anastasia, let me bless you with my knowledge of the interior anatomy of the hoof, or the foot. Right here is the coffin bone.
That's the coffin bone. The coffin bone helps shape the hoof wall and also protects blood vessels and nerves and is something the deep digital flexor tendon can attach to.
Right here is the navicular bone. The navicular bone guides the deep flexor tendon from the leg to the back of the hoof or attached to the coffin bone. It also helps stabilize the coffin bone. And speaking of the deep flexor tendon, it is located right here, and it keeps the horse upright and bearing its weight on its legs. It also helps the horse move its limbs. The tendon in front of the leg is the extensory tendon.
It's the extensor tendon, and it helps the horse move its foot forward and up. And right here is the lamini. The lamini attaches the coffin bone to the hoof wall.
It's the hoof busters where we bust hoof problems. Okay, Holly. Oh no. We'll be right over.
How's Holly?
Turns out her horse is having some lameness.
Oh, Casper?
Actually, it's Theo.
Oh,
Theo, her 8-year-old thoroughbred, struggles with anxiety and injuries. You know the one from True Flight?
yeah.
Holly says that she was bringing him to the barn and noticed that he was in a lot of pain and acting like his leg was about to fall off. She was really concerned he may have broken his leg in the pasture, so she gave us a call so we can check him out.
We better go over there. Hey, Austin, did you bring the hoof tester?
Yeah, they're right over there. You just poke the horse with them.
Well, actually, you're going to take one part of it and put it on the sole and put the other part on the hoof wall. Then you're going to take your horse's foot and press around like this, and wherever the horse reacts to the pressure is where their pain is located or where an abscess is located. After we did this on Theo, we determined that he had an abscess.
What is an abscess?
An abscess is the infection of the soft portion of the horse's hoof. It can be caused by puncture wounds, injuries, or bacterial infections. It causes a lot of oozing of pus, lameness, and can also result in some pain.
Oh, how do we treat it?
To treat it, you're going to make a DIY horse boot. The first thing you're going to need is some duct tape. Then you're going to need a diaper, iodine, and Epsom salt. You're going to take the duct tape and make a duct tape sheet. Then you're going to take your diaper and put in some Epsom salt and some iodine. You put in the Epsom salt to help dry out the abscess and to also draw out the abscess, and you put in the iodine to help disinfect the area. After you do this, you're going to take your horse's hoof and put it inside the diaper. Then you attach the diaper and put the duct tape sheet on to further reinforce it and attach it.
Hey, let's go call Holly and tell her how to prevent abscesses in the future. Do you know where I put her number?
No, I can't find it.
Oh, that's okay for now, but we'll have a talk later. Let's go tell Holly that there are not many ways to prevent abscesses in the future, but it's very important to make sure she keeps Theo's hoofs dry, clean, and healthy, and to treat them immediately when found. She should also probably change up his nutritional skills so that can help decrease the risk of getting another abscess again.
Hello, this is the Hoof Buster for Buster Hoof Problems. Oh, hi, Sadie. How's Casper? Oh, no. Casper's having some foot problems.
Oh, Casper, her 20-year-old POA Gelding?
Yeah, she said she was bringing him in from the pasture and noticed he had a short and choppy stride and was experiencing some lameness.
We better go check him out.
Hey, Austin, you want to call him Casper?
It looks like Casper is experiencing some lameness and has a very short, choppy stride. He also has some very upright pasterns. We should probably take an x-ray because something's going on.
In the X-ray here, you can see his navicular bone. You can also see his navicular bone looks somewhat like Swiss cheese because it has lots of holes in it due to deterioration. After looking at this, we determined the Casper had navicular disease.
Oh, that's the disease that turns his navicular bone into string cheese.
Well, it actually smells like Swiss cheese because of deterioration, but navicular disease is the inflammation and deterioration of the navicular bone and surrounding structures. Not much about its exact cause is known, but it has been shown that horses with this condition usually it gets worse if they've already had previous damage.
Oh, that sounds really bad. How do we treat it?
One of the most common ways to treat it is with corrective showing and trimming. This is a rolled toe egg bar shoe and it helps support the horse's hoof and it also helps with the heel angle and puts more weight on their toe to relieve some of their pain.
We may also have some luck managing the problem with some medications like phenylbutazone and KP. We give Casper this because it helps with the inflammation as well as helps him feel less pain. We may also have luck with other pain medications.
In the pictures here, you can see the shoe that we just talked about on a horse, and it's also on Casper. And you can see how it helps with his heel angle and puts more weight on his toe to relieve pain. We better go call Sadie to tell her to get Casper some new shoes.
It's the Hoofbusters. We're bust with problems. Oh, hey, Brad. Oh, we're already there. I'll be right over.
Who was that?
That's the guy who bought the off-the-track thoroughbred and doesn't know much about horses.
Oh, what happened?
He said he was picking his horse Artie's feet and it was a rotting dairy smell.
We better go check it out.
Since we were already at the barn, we went straight over to Artie's stall. We peeked in and noticed that her foot was up a bit and it looked kind of black.
We also noticed that her frog was starting to peel and it smelled like rotting deer. After all of these symptoms, we concluded that she had thrush.
Oh, that's athlete's foot.
It's similar to athlete's feet in humans, but thrush is a bacterial or fungal infection of the frog, and it can be caused by the packing of moist soil, manure, and not having proper hoof care.
Can you remind me what it looks like?
In the picture here, you can see some thrush after it's slightly been treated. You can see that a lot of the infected portions have been peeled off, and you can also see that it's darker in some places.
Let's treat thrush. To treat thrush, you'll need a diluted iodine solution or a commercial thrush product. A commercial thrush product works because it also has iodine in it. First, you will pick up the hoof and pay special attention to the frog. You then apply your commercial thrush product to the frog and its surrounding areas and hold the foot up a bit so it can soak in. You do this because the iodine can help sterilize the hoof and fight the infection. You do this once a day for as many days as you need to until the thrush goes away.
We should go find Brad and tell him how he can help Artie and prevent this in the future.
We should. Let's go tell Brad that thrush is actually a very common hoof issue, and he needs to make sure he has good stall management with Artie and to keep her in a dry, clean environment. He also should make sure she gets regular shoeing and trimming and to pick her feet up daily, because that can help decrease the risk of getting thrush again. It's been a busy day. Oh no, is that your flight again?
Hello, this is the Hoofbuster, great buster of problems. Oh, hi, son. Congrats on your marriage. How's Diva? Oh, no.
What?
Diva's having some more problems. Sutton said that the vet at their barn thought she had white line.
Oh, that's the infection of the line.
It's the infection of the white line in the horse's hoof. But the vet there said that she wanted to treat it by cutting off what she thought was the infected portion of Diva's hoof. But she's still having some problems. We better go check it out.
We went to go check on Diva and noticed that she was experiencing a lot of pain and her hoof wall didn't grow back properly.
Could that be due to lack of blood flow?
Maybe it's laminitis. Let's take an x-ray and see what's going on.
In the x-ray here, you can see her coffin bone, which is located right here. You can see that it is rotated a severe amount, and laminitis is the rotation of the coffin bone. Also, in the pictures here, you can see that she has a lack of blood flow due to her problem, and you can also see her hoof wall right here has not grown back like it should.
How did this happen?
Well, it could have been from working on lots of hard surfaces.
Oh, I know what caused it. It was caused by road runners, and that is the rotation of the coffin bone due to repeated exercise on hard surfaces.
How do you treat it, Austin?
Because Diva's case is chronic laminitis, there's no actual cures, there are only treatments. Some ways to treat it are through dietary restrictions. Diva has this, and she only gets a certain amount of grain and a certain amount of grass each day, so her laminitis doesn't worsen. You also can do medications and corrective shoeing. For instance, Diva gets this shoe, which is a rail shoe, and it helps prevent breakover and allow her to move her foot in all different directions without feeling as much pain. It also helps support her joint. If her case happened to be acute laminitis, there'd actually be a cure. Instead, we need to talk to the vet to find the best plan for Diva. The vet might suggest simple dietary changes or new shoes. Either way, laminitis is a very serious hoof issue, and it's very important to catch it early.
If not, your horse could become permanently lame or have to be euthanized. It's been a busy day.
It has.
I'm ready to go home.
We need to talk about that phone number you lost.
Oh no. Today we talked about the parts of the horse's hoof and some 4 mystery calls and why this is so important. It is important to know some common problems and issues in horses' hoofs and how to treat them and how to notice them, so when they happen to your horse, you know what to do.
Remember, it's very important to check on your horse's hoofs and health in general. If you see a problem, tell us one, or call the vet, or call the Hoofbusters.
The resources we used for this presentation were these following websites: Caring for Your Horse's Hoofs,
What Horses' Hoofs Are Made Of, Horseman's Report,
Bones of the Hoof,
Equine Hoof Anatomy,
Case Report Extensive Tendon Injuries,
Navicular Syndrome in Horses.
and Laminitis Prevention and Treatment.
We also use prior knowledge,
Some information from the vets Dr. Miller and Dr. Parks from Ironwell Vet,
We also talked to our local farrier, Joey, from Hat Creek Farm for the shoes and knowledge about the shoes.
and we also got some pictures of information about Diva's case from Sutton Marine. Are there any questions?
Yes, thank you for a very informative and entertaining presentation. My main question is, so you're covering quite a bit of diagnosis, treatment, and long-term maintenance. My question is, who exactly is doing this? So to what extent can we as a horse owner, so me just having my pasture pup in the backyard, where can I diagnose and treat, and when do I need to start calling a vet for greater diagnostics or help? How do I know when I reach that threshold? Can you talk a little bit about that?
So the question was, how can you treat your horse's problems when they're in your pasture without, and when you're supposed to call the vet? So some of the ways that you can treat it are if it's more of a common issue like thrush and you can notice it quickly. A lot of times then you can just use a commercial thrush product, or if it's a small thing like an abscess. If it's smaller like those scales, that's when you can treat it yourself because you can do things like a horse boot or use a thrush product. But if it's something on a larger scale like we talked about with navicular disease and also chronic laminitis, that's when you need to start calling a vet because that's not something you can simply just fix.
Good job, thanks guys, I really enjoyed it. I was going to ask a little bit about if there are certain breeds that are more susceptible to different hoof issues and what you guys have to say to that.
The question was if there are certain breeds that are more susceptible to certain issues. Through our research, we came across that ponies are more, for at least founders, which cause the chronic laminitis. Ponies are more acceptable to founders, but mostly in grass founders because they become overweight. We did not come across what horses are acceptable to the other diseases in our research, but we'd be more than happy to get back to you.
Thank you so much. I loved it all. I was jamming the music, and I was really hoping when I saw your outfits that you'd have music at the beginning, and I was so impressed. So good job. My question is, what is something that stood out to you the most through your research, with a particular disease, or what was something that was oh man, this is really cool, or I learned a lot from this X-ray picture. So from each of you.
So one thing that I found really cool about the different diseases when we were looking at it is I didn't realize chronic laminitis, it's always something that people talk about, and acute laminitis and founders, but I didn't realize how many ways it could be caused. There's different ways that different types of founders can cause laminitis, and there's grass founders and road founders, and there's several other ones that we haven't mentioned yet, but there's a lot of different ways it can be caused and a lot of ways that it can happen, and some are more susceptible to other types, but it's cool how it all leads to one problem from different groups.
So the question was, what part in our research, interests me the most? And for me, I thought it was thrush, because I did not know that it was actually that common. I thought it almost, I didn't know that it's a very, horses get it actually a lot. And for me, that was very interesting.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
This presentation is dedicated to and is in memory of Sammy, who unfortunately had to be put down due to some health problems and injuries.
This is why it's very important to understand your horse and know their anatomy.
Thank you for your time.